Hello and welcome to today's session. Today I'm trying a lot of new things again. For once I'm trying to stop the music, but I can't. Okay. So first things first, I'm streaming to Instagram today. I never tried that before. So this will be interesting. I don't even know if it works. Second of all, this is a single session. I'm alone here today, and I will do some coding alone. This is nice for a change as well, for me at least. Yeah. So, and as you can see here on this image, I'm trying a little experiment where I want to try skills. So, okay, let's start from the beginning. I like to code with AI. That's what I'm doing in these live coding sessions. And last session, I tried to create a very, very simple, actually, Vaadin application with Java and Quarkus. But it failed, and it failed at some point. I don't know why the application did not run in the end, but that was kind of annoying. And I know that with Vaadin, there are some quirks that you have to think about and that you have to consider. But if you do this, usually it's pretty simple. So I was annoyed that the AI couldn't do that really good. And later I thought, well, I should have used skills. So there are some skills for Vaadin. I don't even have them open right now. But there are some skill files that help the AI create a better Vaadin application. And I didn't use them. After the AI failed, I tried to use them, but I don't know, it didn't work anymore. So I could have tried to start from scratch again, but we already were over 2 hours in the session, so I did not try that. But that got me thinking. Vaadin is a pretty, how do you say that's a pretty public and used library. But there are plenty of libraries that aren't used as much, and so the AI does not have that much of training data. And that's a problem for AI, because if it doesn't have training data, then it doesn't produce good output. Yeah, so I thought about, well, how can I really test this in a good environment? And the idea I had was with EclipseStore, because I've been using EclipseStore for quite some time, and I've gotten used to it and pretty much understand how it works now. But the AI might not, because it's still quite a niche product. So what is EclipseStore? It's basically, a Java Object Graph Storage engine. Sorry about all these pauses, but my voice is making funny things, so I have to stop from time to time. Okay, so EclipseStore is a Java Object Graph Storage. That means you can take almost any kind of Java object and put it in the storage, and EclipseStore will store it on your hard drive. And it does that pretty well. So it's basically a database, but for Java objects. And that's pretty fun, because it gives you a lot of speed in the beginning of development, I think. And that's cool. So also they have this vector vector integration now, basically. I never tried that before, but that's something I would try at some point, maybe even today. Okay, but the point is, not everybody knows EclipseStore, and even less people use it. But there is a skills repository here from Staniak. He works at MicroStream, and Florian as well. They are very, very dear colleagues. And they made this repository with skills for almost every AI. And they have skills for the GigaMap. GigaMap is quite cool because it basically allows you to store a lot of data very efficiently. But there is nothing about vector storage. I just see that now. But maybe that's all right. Okay. But the point is, they have these skills. And so I want to do a little experiment where I compare an AI to implement something with EclipseStore without skills, and then again try it with skills and see what the difference is really. Okay, that's the big picture here. And what I would like to try is my little Quanta project. If you have watched all my other streams, then you will know this project because I like to play around with it. It's basically a back end that searches through your file system and indexes all your files. So it reads every file, tries to summarize it with an LLM, tries to tag it, and also vectorizes it. So the idea is that you have this vector database, and you can type in any kind of text. This will get vectorized, and then it searches the vector database for any connection to your input string. So it's basically a LLM-powered search engine for your files. I'll make this screen bigger. Yeah, that suits better. Though my name is now really big and kind of hiding my face. There's something better here. Well, that's all right, but more. Should have tried that beforehand. Okay, I like this view. Give me 1 second. This should be all right. Okay, I will just simply change my avatar. No, change my name and headline. Yes. Here we go. Oh, that's better. Okay. All right. So we have that. Yeah. So I have this application and it runs. It already works. Yeah, I tried this earlier today. It basically has a front end with Next.js. That's all AI written. I didn't write any front end code. Then we have our little back end with Quarkus and LangChain for J. And there we have a connection to PostgreSQL. That's where the embeddings, the vector database is, and all the metadata for all the files. And then we also have an Olama connector, which connects to Olama with Llama 3.2, a local model, and it also has an embedding model. I think that's a bit bad in this diagram. Yeah, but it basically does that. So it monitors a target folder, computes some file hashes, checks if these hashes exist, and then stores these hashes in metadata, and then checks if it is changed or not. If it already exists, then it doesn't do anything because that file didn't change. And if there is something changed or it doesn't exist, it splits that file into chunks and then embeds these chunks and stores them in the embedding storage. Right. That's about it. I mean, we don't have to read through all of this. That's basically the setup. And what I want to do is now to tell the AI to change PostgreSQL to EclipseStore and then see what happens. Okay. So this is the complete project with, maybe one thing I should show you is the Docker Compose file. So basically we have a couple of services. We have the Olama service, which starts an LLM locally in Docker with, it runs on the GPU, which I find pretty nice. And then it starts, here we have it. Then it starts the embedding model and the Llama 3.2 model. So that's the Olama build. Then we have the database that also has pgvector installed. So this will be interesting. I didn't even think of that, but it. So we need EclipseStore to be a vector store as well, and supposedly it can do that. So we'll see about it. So we have a backend, which is a Java backend. Quarkus, we have some environment variables to do the connection to Postgre and Olama. And then we have our front end, which basically only connects to our backend. That's it. Right. And I also have this IntelliJ project open, which is only the backend here. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, the most important part, I think, is we have this file metadata. We have some entities here. No, we have only one entity. And we have some metadata for each file that we have. Some tags, the summary, that's actually, maybe I'll show you that again. So this is the summary that is AI generated. And we have some tags that are created also by AI. If they work that well, I'm not sure, because sometimes these things are weird. But they are generated and they look at least somehow usable. I mean, it's always more usable with cloud AI because they simply work better. But that's all right. So we have our backend and we have our little repository where we save metadata, we update metadata, can update tags, find tags, and find last modified by path. We are not even using that. So maybe we just erase that. We don't need it. All right. Okay, that's the complete setup. That was long enough now. Now we want to really see what the AI does. And I would like to try Junie again. I tried Junie months and months ago, and I wasn't that fond of it. But it did work, and it still does work. Just I'm not sure how much of these tokens or credits will get used here. But if we are empty, I have Claude and GitHub Copilot around here somewhere. Now, shall we? I think I want to try Claude Sonnet because that's like a good baseline. Claude Code has Claude Sonnet, of course, and also GitHub Copilot has Claude Sonnet, and I think it's a pretty good cost efficiency factor, I guess. So let's try this very simple. Replace Postgre. No. Okay. Mistake number one. We are here in the back end, and I actually would like to have the AI fix everything, and that means also the Docker Compose. So let's start the AI chat here in this project. Again, Claude Sonnet. Replace Postgre SQL with EclipseStore. Make sure to use the latest word. No, don't. This is the string. So I copy this somewhere. Give me 1 second. Where can I copy this? Okay, yeah, here we go. So I copied this to not lose it. And of course we switched the brave mode on because I'm feeling brave and I hate to just say yes to every command. Let's do it. So what I'm not sure is what the reasoning level is here. Because usually with Claude Sonnet, I can select the reasoning model and I can't here. I don't know why, but we'll see what comes out. We already have an agent MD, but I think that's even wrong. I think that should be named agents MD. But okay. So it's reading the whole project. But I don't want to watch that all the time here. Okay. What I checked previously as well is if Juni even can handle skills, but it can. We simply have to copy these skill files into the Juni folder, which if you see here, this is the Git changes. It already has a lot of stuff here. It created some files. Yeah, I changed this. But we already have the Juni folder. This is good. Yeah, and we just copy these skills there. So there is a general specification for these skills. Yeah, with the skill name and the skill MD. I only knew about that skill MD. I really didn't know there is some more stuff that you can do. So I'm guessing these skills can be very powerful. Let's look into these skills for EclipseStore. There are a couple of installing ways, but unfortunately there is nothing for Juni, but that's all right. We can just copy and paste it, I guess. Yeah. And these are the skills. Yeah, so a lot of things are really specific for EclipseStore, like the root and object graph. So usually you have a kind of a root object that contains all your data in your whole application. And that's not a pattern that you usually use. But it's pretty handy if you get used to it, if you got used to it. It's pretty cool. Yeah, you can store data with the store all things, and the batch storer. And where I had the biggest problem in the beginning with EclipseStore is that I find the right object to store. And I actually found that as well with all my colleagues that use that program, that library. It's really hard to find out what object you really need to store. Maybe we can get into that later on, but that's a subject on its own. Yeah, but legacy type mapping is something I really don't like about that project. But it works. You can use it. But it's great that they have a skill for it because it's very specific. These AFS, I actually wrote one myself for, and I'm not sure, what was it? IBM. I think some IBM storage. I wrote an AFS for that. Okay. EclipseStore stores all the data on the file system as in a specific file structure. And since these are just simple files, you can actually put these files anywhere. And that's also very nice. But that means you can also put these files in a S3, and you actually can connect this S3 bucket to your EclipseStore natively without doing anything else. And then, you have all the privileges of using this. You can use backups and stuff like that, because that's something EclipseStore does not natively do. So it's not a fully fledged database, I would say. But probably some people disagree with me here. And this is one of the most exciting things for me, the gigamap. And there we have also the J-vector in there. So the gigamap is just a big table, a big map, yeah. That's why it's called a gigamap. But the interesting thing about it is you can have indices for it, and you can have very different ones. So they implemented bitmap, Lucene, and J-vector, it seems like. Yeah. But basically, you can do anything with these indices, and which I really, really find quite interesting. And that's what we want to do at some point here. So let's see what IntelliJ does. It's running tests. Okay. So that means it probably changed a lot of things. Let's see. So, okay. It changed the Docker Compose. So it completely erased the database, which is right. So this is very good. Probably just changed the file ending, but it now basically mounted in the EclipseStore data, which is a very nice thing to do. I think that's the completely right approach here, to mount out that data out of a Docker container. So it doesn't. Why does it? Yeah, okay, because this is PG vector specific and the dimensions are specific to this one. We probably don't need this, okay? Yes, okay, it deleted the PG vector. And use the in-memory embedding storage. Well, I'm not sure if this is the right way. Oh, we are at the tests. I'm sorry. So we shouldn't look at the tests. We want to see the actual productive files. So file resources, yeah, we can delete that transactional because we don't need it anymore. EclipseStore has a kind of a transactional behavior, but it's I think it's called different. I'm not sure, and it you can't just annotate something. In memory, yes, okay. So there it is as well. So we got rid of the PG vector embedding storage, got rid of the transactionals. Now we have an embedding store producer that gives us embedding store from in-memory embedding store. Okay, that could work. Okay, so it changed the entity file metadata and got rid of all that stuff that's needed for Panache or for JPA and Hibernate. We don't need all these annotations. Well, EclipseStore doesn't use them, because it just stores the object as is. It serializes that object without any of these things. Okay, the repository. That's, I think, one of the most interesting things here. Let's see. So if you want to use EclipseStore, you have to create an embedded storage manager. Okay. That's something that we need. And this is, yeah, by the name of it, it's the root element. So this is the one element that you have stored in your storage. And from there you can, or you have to reach every object that you want to store. Everything is connected to the root. Okay, it creates this in the storage path. Then it checks if this is null. So if there is no data at all, it actually creates the root data, empty one, stores it, sets it as root and stores it. So this is already very good. This is almost too good. I'm not sure if we can enhance that with the skills. But I'm still optimistic because I don't think it uses the gigamap. We'll see. So saving metadata actually is pretty easy. So it creates that new file metadata, gets all the entries from the root. Maybe let's look at the file metadata store really quickly. Yeah. Okay. So that's, I think, where some enhancement for the skills might come in. Because this is the old behavior. If I have used, would have used EclipseStore, this is how I would have done it. So you have that basically just a container, and it has a map of file metadata with a string as key. Okay, very simple. And then there we could use a gigamap map at some point, but let's see. So it basically gets all these entries and then puts the new file in with a path, because the path, I think, should be unique. So that's good. And that works as well. I'm not sure if this is a good idea to store all these entries once again, because that might take a while. But it's still, and with this size, it shouldn't matter. And if we want to update something, we don't find it by ID, but we get the entries and get the path. So we get an object and then store the changed metadata. So that's pretty simple as well. And here we update only the tags. So it's basically the same behavior. And now this is interesting. It implemented these find by IDs and find by ID optional, which I like. I think that's cool. And this one I like very much. So that's one of the beautiful things in EclipseStore, that you can actually use the normal Java Stream API and don't have to think about SQL at any point. That's nice. Yeah, one of the perks definitely for EclipseStore. Give me 1 second. Okay. And then it has persist, but it never uses this one. So I'm guessing it uses all these methods outside. Okay, this is very understandable as well. So here it removes all traces of any Postgre database, and it adds the storage path. Very nice, really. And these are the tests. So I'm not sure. I don't want to get into the tests as much. But what I not completely understand is why it did create these things. But that's fine. Let's go into the back end. So we have these things, and we can check if any of these methods are used. Yes, they are. The file watcher service. There is nothing changed. Okay, I understand now. So exactly these methods have been implemented beforehand without us doing anything, because it was implemented through the Panache repository. Please, somebody, if somebody is watching, tell me how you pronounce Panache. That would be wonderful. Now, all these things are used and are usually just implemented by itself and not by us. But since we're using EclipseStore, we have to use them for ourselves. Now, what doesn't work, probably, is getting the vector stuff. So did it implement something like this? No. Let's see quickly. Retrieval service, because that's what we want. So we get a prompt, and then we have our embedding service, and it finds similar files through the prompt. And how does that work? We have our embedding model, which is now an in-memory embedding model, I think. Oh no, that's still the same model we used before. And then we have our embedding store, and we search stuff in it. But the embedding store is an in-memory. Okay. So what we have here is not a persistent embedding store. So this should work, but as soon as you restart the application, actually the whole work is gone. So the complete embedding store is gone. And now what actually would be very useful here is if EclipseStore had implementation for LangChain4j as an embedding store. And I think they don't have that yet. Okay, but what I really want to try really quickly, so give me a second. Yeah, I didn't know it's TLS. Yeah, it was still running. I didn't know that, but I want to just start this whole system, and this will take some seconds because one, it will build the complete project again, and two, it will start Ollama and load the complete model into RAM, into my graphics card, actually. Right. Oh, it's also downloading some stuff. Yeah. Okay. Okay. But that's really fast. So everything is fine. Okay, so first of all, I just want to see if it works at all or if it fails miserably. But I think it will work. It looks really solid. And we have some, the front end stuff. So this is the folder we are running, and that's the back end. But here we have our EclipseStore data. And that's actually, there should be something at some point. Otherwise, something is not working. So if we take a look at Docker, oh yeah, I tried some Docker models, but that didn't work at all, unfortunately. And then with the LLM, it somehow worked, but not with the embedding. And then when it did work with the LLM, it wasn't faster than using a normal Docker image. So that wasn't the greatest experience. But still, it's a nice idea that you can run models directly in Docker without having to use Ollama. But unfortunately, our backend with LangChain4j wants to communicate with the LLM through some kind of API. And Docker models is trying to simulate a lot of those, also Ollama, but somehow I think there are still some problems there. So that's why embedding did not work. Anyway, this is our complete infrastructure here. And I'm not sure, but I'm guessing the whole system is just booting up. So, this is my task manager. And if Ollama is all the way up, my GPU memory should be full because it's loading everything in there. But that takes a while. Still, I'm not sure if the backend is not already running. Yes, okay. Backend exited with exit code 1. Easy rag path. Do we need this? Why? Hey, we're coding with AI, so while this is booting up, we can actually fix it. hopefully. Backend loop. It should be a pretty easy error to fix, I think, for an AI. Okay, the dependency was replaced with plain langchain for J. Olama bomb already transpose core, which contains yes. Version conflicts, really? But did it change any versions? Oh, we didn't take a look at that. So it added EclipseStore in the version 2.1.3, and the current one is 4. It's quite possible that in version 2.1.3 there isn't even a gigamap. Nevertheless, we have langchain for J in version 1.0. Why doesn't it use... Oh yeah, okay. Okay, I didn't insert langchain for J as a dependency by itself, but I already inserted PG vector. So that's why it has to handle that differently now. The tests pass. That should be enough. Again, it does run the tests, okay. That's fine. That looks ready. No, it isn't. It is not. Yeah, later on we will just let Olama run, because that takes a long time to load. What does that do? Okay, it shows us the command. Don't want to know that. Okay, it's done, it says. Okay. So this is still not done, but we can now detach. So we can write anything else. And I actually want to docker compose up, but this time only the backend. And we want to build it fresh. Since, yeah, we did change dependency probably. Yeah, it did change some dependencies, so it will download them again. But now it just deleted the langchain for J dependency. Probably because we already have that here. So why do you insert it again? Okay. Yeah, the real question then is, with the EclipseStore skills, will it create better results? That's really exciting to me. But we'll see. Is it already running? It looks good. Yeah. Okay, it detected a changed file. And if it does detect this, it will generate embeddings and summaries. So if we can, you see here, now my GPU memory is full and it's running. That's great. I mean, that's what we want. And this is working as well. Now we can finally see our front end. One second. and we find some results. Oh yeah, I should probably show you this at some point. Okay, we have some Eclipse data. This is wonderful. So this is not readable for any human, but for EclipseStore it is. What is readable is this one, but we don't want to get into the specifics. What I really want to show you was the resources folder, because we have some demo files here. And there is some AI generated stuff. Like I just wanted to have very different topics, very different files. And we have something about philosophy, something about sci-fi, the deep sea, or medieval. And so when I searched for night, I expected to find only medieval stuff, which I did previously, but now I found the weirdest stuff. Basically everything. Yeah, basically everything. That's not what we want at all. Let's see, space. That should narrow down to sci-fi. But we also get urban gardening, cryptology. Okay, let's see what's in there. Let's see. Let's look for Alaric, because that's the name of the guy in the memoirs. Yeah. We got bad results here. So what's not that great with EclipseStore is looking into the database. That's a bit more tricky. You can do this. There is some kind of explorer, I think, but I never used this, and it's not all too intuitive. But you can actually debug the application and then just see what comes out. Still, this is not the results I was expecting, to be honest. So this embedding store in memory, the embedding store producer simply generates an in-memory embedding store. And what's the default for this one? It should actually work just like anything else, but it seems like it doesn't. What do we call embed? No, that's the model. There, we add all of this. Okay, what happens here is we get the summary, the content, and the UUID of the file. And then we put that in the embedding store after embedding it. So that's the embedding. So that's the, all these vectors and stuff like that. That's created here. And then this is just basic storage. And when I want to get similar files, it embeds the prompt and then search it for this maximum results 10, which is all right. And then, yeah, it basically returns this. Okay, let's debug this. I'm just thinking, okay. So I want to detach again, and I want to put only the backend down. So if we are lucky, I should be able to just start this here. Just not really sure. Everything is Quarkus stuff. Yeah. Let's see. Not sure if the application properties are correct, but since it's addressing localhost and Ollama is running on localhost, it should work, I think. Let's see. Yeah, it has to build again. I mean, regardless of what the results are, we really want to see what the skills change here for our implementation. Yeah, okay, it's running and it's already summarizing. But of course, our debug point is not firing. I think the debugger is not even connected. Is it connected now? Well, let's see. So, yeah, if we search this, this should trigger our backend. Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't trigger our backend. Why not? Error running. Oh, maybe I should have connected earlier. Let's try it one more time. Yeah, now we have to attach the debugger right away. Now. I still have the community edition, I think. Do I? Oh no, here we have the backend. Okay. Give me 1 second. So if we have, so in IntelliJ, if you have the Ultimate edition or something, then you can use this Quarkus build and it will attach the debugger automatically, which it doesn't otherwise for whatever reason. Let's see. I think now it looks better. I think the debug point will fire if we come across it, which we should at this point here. Okay, it's loading the model. Actually, yeah, I don't know why it does that. Okay, now it looks like it's running. And we can search again. Hopefully that will light up now. Nope. But an error is forming is required. Yeah. And we don't have that? Yeah. Quanta file system path. Why is this not set? So it is set here. Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay. That's valid. Can we actually just put this relative, right? This is the EclipseStore data. Yep. But where? No, haha. You see, this is not the right folder. No. Let's go one up. again. It's almost there. Failed to process file. Why? Missing runtime for a required handler. FileMaker data store. I do not understand this now. I think that's EclipseStore specific error. That's fun. Not. But sometimes does help is just erasing this. Oh, maybe this is some other problem with EclipseStore. I'm not sure. Because, okay, that's a long winding error. So maybe I'm trying this here. We have the persistence type dictionary, and in there is every class that you store in your EclipseStore data, and it has to be defined there. And if it isn't, it throws an error. And sometimes there are like type errors, some member variables are not working or something like that, but that shouldn't be the case usually. Okay, this is, it seems to work. Now, once again, we search for Alaric, and hopefully now we are here. Ooh, very nice. Now, we have the embedding, which is just a bunch of numbers. Doesn't help us anything. But what would be interesting is the result. So we have 3 matches for Alaric, which is deep sea culinary. Yeah, okay. I think, again, these are all the answers. Because it's still indexing everything. And if it's done with indexing everything, then everything will get returned here. And it isn't even a problem that everything is returned here. It must be in the right order. That's actually here. That's actually more important. But still, I find it weird that I get so many results. Okay, let's go on. So, what do we get here? The first one doesn't mention Alaric at all. So there is nothing about Alaric. I think that was the sci-fi file. What? That is funny. I show you something. Why this is funny. I have the summarizer service. And it's actually not the greatest prompt I wrote, I think. But yeah, you're a helpful assistant that summarizes the content, okay? Don't return anything else but the summary, and don't tell me here is a summary, blah, 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 okay? Because it still kept writing, this is a summary in the summary, and I hate this. Interesting. Instagram just disconnected. Why? I do not know. It's all right. That's all right. Okay, and now these are not 300 characters. This is much more, and such a weird thing. This as well, and it does write summary, you know. So, yeah, this is a local model. It doesn't work as well as the online models, or as the bigger ones, at least. I want to wait for some result. Okay, so what does work is this. In this my Memora, there is Alaric. There's a guy called Alaric. I don't know why. And he is Matthias Krüger. So if we are searching for Matthias Krüger next, we will get a lot of results, but hopefully Matthias Krüger, or this Memora Matthias Krüger, will be the first one, because that's the closest one to our search string. And it really is. That is okay. That is all right. The only problem I have now is that if I restart this system, my whole PG vector, my whole vector database is gone because it's just in memory. Okay, this is working. I want to commit this to a different branch. Okay, refactor to EclipseStore, no skills. And I want to bring the changes with me. Yeah, actually, oh no. Yeah, okay. And then we have to ignore these files. Yes. And we don't want to commit the Juni files. What is this now? Ignore it as well. They shouldn't even exist. Okay. First try, no skills. Wonderful. Let's publish that one. But now, actually, put that down again. That is already down. What's not down is this one. Yeah, but it stopped. So let's remove all of this. And now we install the skills. And what I mean by that is just download them. No, oh, damn it. Don't do it. Oh, God. Now I closed this. Okay. I'm already getting hectic. This is not good. Heh. Here we go. I want to download the zip file. And then copy this. And actually just copy the skills. Yep. And we copy it here into the Juni thing. Is this working? Paste? Can I paste? Yes. Oh. No, it doesn't work. Okay. That's too high end for, I don't know, probably Windows. Let's blame it on Windows. Here we go. insert. And we got all the skills. Can we check if the skills are in there? Let's use this skills. Command skills is not supported yet, that's fine. It just simply has to use them. And we put them in the right folder. Let's check once more. It's under here. It's under Junie skills, and then my skill and blah blah blah. So we have that skills, and we have the gigamap skill, blah blah blah. That's actually okay. Okay, this is very sophisticated. I like it. Vector index as well. Nice. Yeah, and okay, we can add these skills at EclipseStore. No, actually we switched the branch. Oh, refactor to EclipseStore, no skills. So refactor to EclipseStore skills with a Z because we're cool. Bring this one. Yeah, add EclipseStore skills. This is it. Commit this one. And now we take the exact same prompt with the exact same model as before, Brave mode on, and yeah, this doesn't matter. Let's do this. What did it do now? Skills update. Oh yeah, okay, it found the skills. That's beautiful. It's wonderful. Yeah. I'm sensing good outcomes. Yeah. Lucene index and vector deep dive. Yeah, this will be really interesting. I don't think that the AI will now use a gigamap and use these vectors, because this will be crazy. Because it basically has to implement a storage. What was it called? A vector storage in LangJ for J, and that's quite something. So it beforehand we used the PG vector embedding store, or in our other example, the in-memory vector store. And the AI would probably, implement this. This isn't the problem. The in-memory data store was more complex, I think. Is that something that's in here as well? Yeah, here we go. So that's something. Yeah. The AI would have to implement a complete embedding store. And I think that would be possible, but I don't think it will go through that trouble, to be honest. Let me try differently. What? That's weird. Okay, wait. Creating the CDI, rewriting all affected classes, the in-memory from LangJ replaces, yeah, okay. Okay, so that's what it did last time as well. It simply uses the in-memory embedding store. But still, let's see what other things it comes up with. I was still impressed on how well it implemented EclipseStore without these skills. But still, there's always something to do better. So again, it makes this mistake of adding the LangChain for J dependency, even though we have it still here through this one. So we don't need this. Well, yeah, it implements the adds the storage, and it uses 2.2. That's even older than before. Oh, what a shame. Not the expected outcome. Yeah, this one is expected. It does remove all these annotations again, which is perfectly fine. Here we have the replacement of the panache repository, the storage root. Now this is a weird call. It's called store, but it actually just returns data. So this is the storage. Nah. I don't like this one. It puts something in the store, okay, and then it stores the store. But see this, why would it name a storage store? That's really bad naming here. But again, it seems like it does what it has to do, just like the other implementation as well. So the storage producer is a bit different. We didn't have that before. So that's probably something with dependency injection, that we have a producer of embedding store manager. Well, that's fine. I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's probably a bit better than the other one that just created embedded storage manager where it needed it in the repository. Because if you have more repositories, then this will be a bad pattern. And I think having this application scoped producer is a better way. Yeah, probably. But it still used the storage root and a map, not a giga map. Oh, I'm a bit sad about this. It could have been a giga map. But well, that's all right. Yeah, now it's checking new versions of LangChain for J. Ah. The correct version is 2.1.3? Okay, let's check that out for ourselves. That there must be a new version. EclipseStore. That it? Yeah, so there's a version 4.1.0. Why are they using such an old version? That's not a good sign at all. But I mean, the skill probably doesn't know about the versions of it. So this is about Spring Boot, not Quarkus. Okay, configuration. I don't think we had a problem like that. Oh yeah. This is one of the really fun things. So this is how you can configure EclipseStore. Sometimes you have to. Because there is a lot of stuff that you can tweak, just like the JVM or something like that. Yeah, but usually the default is just fine. It's just fine. So I would like to know if it used a skill at some point, but I'm not sure if it's writing that down. This is a Quarkus. Okay, so maybe it did find a skill that works for Spring Boot, and then therefore it concluded, oh, okay, this is not a Spring Boot application. Okay, let's look at this once more. Unfortunately, this version is really old again, even though it searched for it online. That's pretty stupid. Yeah, the file resources in memory. So it does use the in-memory store, embedding store again. That is sad, but it's all right. So it's okay. It just erased all these comments as well because it didn't like that. Update metadata. Okay. This is fine. We already looked at that. That is fine as well. The storage producer, just the same. Storage root, the same here. Why not gigamap? I don't know. What's the... When does it need to be used? Lazy loaded, blah, blah, blah. Apply. Whenever a new entity is being designed or an existing list of persisted entities is being scaled. Yeah, no, so yeah, new entity collection. This is what it's supposed to do. Fail. That is a bad fail. Why? All right, still, yeah, these are all tests. We don't have to look at those. The database is removed again. We have a storage directory, which is fine. Yeah. The Quanta file system path. That's something that we have to add anyways. Didn't know that. Okay. All right. It seems like this should work just the same. Just the same as before. This is interesting. I don't know this one. Java IO tempter. Well, so unfortunately, this was not the desired effect. I wanted it to use gigamap, at least in this one instance, and it did not. Why? I do not know. So what I still want to try is, this is all already running. This is fine. I just want to start this application. Oh, yeah. Start the backend. See if it works. It should work the same way as before. And then for one last trick, because the actual experiment, we executed that experiment. It just didn't have the desired outcome for me, really. So I'm guessing this tells us something about skills. Is the description of the skill not the right one? Is this maybe not specific enough? It did find the skills. Here we go. It did see the skill for the gigamap. The definition is here. Yeah. But why did it not work? Not sure. Let's go back here. This is running. If it's working, let's see. If you wonder why this is also very slow, it's because, like I said earlier, my complete GPU memory is full with an LLM. Still, our application should work. Let's search for something and it probably will fail. Yeah. Yeah, because this is not set, just like in our other example, but that's an easy fix. So it's this one and then resources and demo data. No, we don't need these useless skills anymore. I'm really not sure if this is the error of the skills. I'm not sure because they look fine. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Oh, we can use this EclipseStore data. This is more. This is nicer. Okay. Again. And if this works, yeah, if this works, we can commit it and then try one last time to implement an embedded storage manager. No data file. That is perfectly fine, dude. You don't need this. But it's probably, yeah. It could be there from previous runs. Phoenix is asking me where he can send thumbnail samples. I don't need any of those things. I think there is some option so we can stop this preloading model stuff because I don't need it. But yeah. Okay, so now files have changed and they are analyzed and everything should work. And then we can kind of wait a couple of seconds and then we will get more file results here. Now we have 0 results. That's not a lot. But it could be that there is simply no, we have some files found. Yeah, 3 files are already processed. So at some point we should find something. Yeah, okay. It's fine. Culinary. Good. Now, if we are looking for Dr. Evelyn Winters, we should see this file first. And we do. Very nice. Very nice. Another example, deep sea hydrothermal. Yes, please. Here we go. And yes, this is the first one. Wonderful. Okay, again, it is working, but it's not better than the other one. Not at all. It used an older version. The only thing I would like to say is I think is like rationally better is the storage producer, that this is outsourced from the repository. This is nice. But other than that, we don't have any difference. Now, yeah, EclipseStore implementation. And now for the last trick. First of all, let's kill this. Then I want to update EclipseStore to the newest version and not to some random old version. 4.1.0. Wonderful. Here we go. And then we can talk to the LLM. Okay. So in our, let's go into the backend. In our backend, we have something. We have the storage root. So replace the map of the storage root with a gigamap. This is the first step. And the other one is the embedding service. Use the vectorization stuff. The vector operations. Vector operations of the gigamap instead of the in-memory embedding store. This way, the embeddings get stored and are not removed after every new startup. Okay. Okay, this is my last try today. And this actually does not, it's not included in the experiment, I would say. The experiment was about how can I improve understanding of a very small library that is not greatly used by using skills. And I must say this is kind of the opposite answer now. No, this is not the opposite answer. It's just, it did not really improve the results. So here in this example, I think EclipseStore is already too well established for the AI, so it knows pretty much what to do. So yeah, you could say this was my error for choosing a too big of a library. But I wanted to use a library that I know. And EclipseStore is something I've been working with a lot of times. But still, let's see what we come up here. What the AI comes up with. Are not available on Maven Central. Only storage embedded. This is wrong. This is simply wrong. I don't know why this. Huh? Okay. So it's looking for storage embedded, and maybe that's a problem. Maven Eclipse Store storage embedded. No, this is okay. Let's point it to this one. Could I? So I wanted to give it the option. Here are the current versions. Please provide the repository. Yeah. Is this? Let's see. Maybe I am wrong, and we need we need a GigaMap implementation. But still, there is a version 4.1.0, and it's interesting. Okay, yeah, so it doesn't work anymore. Doesn't want to do anything. Let's see. We still have credits. Hey, Junie, what's up? One as well. Oh, okay, it's doing something. GigaMap is not. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Yes. I'm pretty sure it is there. Okay. Does the skill for the GigaMap tell where it should download the version? It seems it does not. And that could be a problem of the skill, actually. I'm not sure. I mean, it does give a lot of information, but maybe not the source. Especially not the versions. So let me know if anybody is watching and knowing, should you include the version of some library in your skill? You should probably just reference where you can find the newest version, and then this is enough. Yeah. So what? I'm a bit sad that this does not work very well. You know, yeah, it doesn't do anything anymore. But I worked ahead and have here 2 Docker sandboxes ready to go. And yeah, let's start with Cloud Code. And then I can just simply copy the commands. Well, okay, simple is not. Yeah, here we go. This is the first one. Yeah. We are in the right directory. And now I also want to add these two. Nope, that was not it. Here you go. Copy. Paste. Oh no. Okay, everything is so slow now. Should put Olama down. But then I have to wait for it again, and I don't want that. This is the first link, and this one is the second. Yeah. I will put Olama down. then you will see that my performance will increase. If it's stopping anything at any time. Okay, I let that run. Maybe even Juni's running. No, it just stopped. So I have to say, this is the second time Juni basically failed on me because it's just unresponsive. And next week, I actually have a session. One second. Oh yeah, I have a session with Anton Aripov from IntelliJ, and I'm really excited about this one because we will get into probably Juni, maybe some other AI that's that you can use in IntelliJ. And I'm excited about that. And if there is some error like this, I'm sure he will have some answers for me. Okay, so the latest version is 4.1, matches POM XML. Let me check if there is a references. Yes, it is. And this is exciting. It always says almost done thinking for me. So yeah, 4.1, it includes the gigamap JVector, yes. Well, I'm not sure, maybe even Juni has some problems using skills. That could be a problem as well. Well, we tried with Juni. Next time, maybe something else. Okay, what does it do? It created, no, we already have an embedding service. Now it changed that a lot because we don't want the memory embedding store anymore. We want the storage group with a vector index. Vector index, okay. So this is something I don't know about. I never used JVector and I never used gigamap here, but it seems like it creates some indices and vectorizes the embedding entry that comes into it. Well, okay. It's the vectorizer. And so every time we add something, it should vectorize something. Embedding model. And okay, this is still embedding. The actual embedding is, is still done with in the embedding model. But the vector storage is done in the, well, vector storage. It gets embeddings. So the root now has embeddings as well. Oh yeah, and I know that it has different ways to get the different strategies to find embeddings. Replace existing entry for this UUID. Okay, yeah. And then add this one and store it. And this is for the function of embed file with content. Yeah, okay. Get similar files. That is exciting. So it does embed the prompt, gets the vector, and then it searches for that with 10. Probably the same as before, that it's finding max results 10. But this looks actually very simple, and it looks like it could work as well. That's amazing. Hey, if this is working, that's really something. That is really something. Yeah, this is the repository. The storage root now has the gigamap, probably. Okay, so it has some indexing things like the path. This is indexed by a string, and this is indexed by a UUID as well. But it should be some embedding stuff. Oh yeah, here we have the bitmap identity index. Yeah, interesting. I don't understand how this would work, but I will talk to Florian and he will explain it to me. Maybe. Okay. What do we have? Well, we have the tests. We don't need the tests. Everything's working fine. Okay, the repository. Okay, yeah, it renamed this store to a map. That's good. What a bad idea. But still, this is pretty much the same as before. Oh no, okay. We have an update function here. So this is probably more efficient with the gigamap. So before, we simply found the element and then updated it. But here we actually have an update method which probably uses the index as well. So it finds the element faster than before. Yeah, here we have a query. A query is something that's not existing with a normal list or map. So this is something the gigamap implements. And we can also find by ID. Okay, update. All right. And this is also something that's good with a gigamap. I think if you add one element to a list in EclipseStore, it will store the complete list new. And we don't want that. With the gigamap, I think it's that intelligent that it checks, hey, what's changed, and then stores only the changed elements, which is nice. Okay, so it says it's done. It looks like it's done. Then let's just try it. And this is the last thing I'll do today. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. But this looks really promising to me. And especially it already added the tests. So it's probably working. Let's see what it did or what it said. All 8 tests passed. So it actually also executed the tests. That's wonderful. Replaced the hash map, yes. Replaced the in-memory storage with a persistence vector index. Oh, that's nice. Migrated from direct hash map. Yeah, so again, actually what I should do now is go to the other branch without the skills and try that again. But I'm really too lazy to do that now. Something did not work. Gigamap instance must be stored initially. Yes. What? By storing context. Okay. Okay. 1 second. Skills. So that was stupid of me. Because we used Claude Code now, it did not use any skills. Oh, that is unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. So let me think. It created all of this without the skills, which is pretty nice. But eventually it did not work. Now if I keep saying this is the last thing I do, but I still want to do some stuff. If I create this Claude folder and then copy the skills in there as well. Yeah. Add all of this. Now, again, escape to close. No. Create skills in Claude. Skills. I did this. So if we put a list here, where are we? Huh? EclipseStore data. Are we in the backend folder? No, here it should actually, well, okay. What is this? LSL all files, I think. Yeah, Claude. Okay, here we go. And now if we do this, it's still nothing. Reload. Reload plugins. Well, okay. Reload plugins done. No skills. Now we have skills. Okay. Even though it did not see any skills here, now we have some skills. Okay. I know. This is horrible. Fix this error. And what we want to do here is actually compose up, but only Olama Quanta, and then detach right away. No, it's just Olama probably. So it can already run and load while this is still working. Oh man, I thought today was going to be like a 1 hour session because I'm alone and I can stop anytime I want. But now this is too interesting again. So it should fix the problem anyways pretty fast. But it's searching for pattern, reading a file. I hate this. I hate if there is nothing being done and it's just reading a file and doing nothing And that happens to me a lot. We can check the sandboxes. If there is anything blocked, but it is not. It's just Claude doing nothing. My assumption is that this is really doing this because I have Claude Pro and not Claude Max. And so it's basically just not tending to my queries as fast as the Claude Max uses, which obviously is everybody now, except for me. Okay. It used the skill gigamap. This is wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, so we got 1 point for the skills. Oh man. Yeah. Let's just put this as another commit edit skills for Claude as well. I don't know where this has to be connected to the storage. I don't know what that is all about. It should probably... Hey, where's that provider? Oh no, did I commit something I didn't want to? No. No, there's the storage producer is there. Okay. That's still working here in the background because it's loaded the skill, and that seems to be something really great. Yeah, the skill is loaded. Let's see if Olama is loaded. No, it is not yet. Still takes time. It's great. It needs to be stored by the embedded storage manager first. Embedded storage manager is... Where is it? I think it's in the provider. Let's see. Yeah. It's only wired during loading. So on the first run, every cause throws. The fix is to explicitly store each gigamap via storage manager inside the first run branch. Okay. Is it done? Yeah, it's done. It says it's done. Okay, but this time really the last try here. Let's put everything up. This would be a nice conclusion. Even though we took 2 hours. But I think it's just for me, it's really fun to code with AI because even though it takes probably the same amount of time as if I would have read up on the documentary on on the documentation. And then at some point, try to implement it myself. Yeah, but still, for me, it always feels like it's much faster, much more fun. So this is still not fixed. Thank you for nothing, Claude. You've been no help at all. But I'm guessing you already know that. Wonderful. Okay, I will try to fix this again, but not today. Today, we are done. Okay. Everybody who still remains here, thank you very much for watching. I think I could show this experiment. It did not turn out quite what I expected it. So I expected the AI to be much, much worse with EclipseStore right off the gate without skills. But it actually was quite good without any skill. And then the skills didn't improve that much. But with Claude, we at least saw, okay, it used the skill, it checked, hey, what has the skill to say about the gigamap? And then it used it. Somehow it did not fix the problem, but that's another topic. I think if I reiterate a few times, maybe let it write its own tests and then try to fix the tests, then this should work. Yeah, like I said, next week I have a session with Anton Aripov. Oh, man, Aripov, yes. I'm really looking forward to that. He's a guy from IntelliJ, and he knows everything there is to know about it. And I love IntelliJ, I love to use it. So this will be fun. Thank you very much for watching. And see you next time, hopefully. Goodbye.